This is maybe a bit of a silly question, but maybe a bit dated as well, Ray. Do you think it was a bit premature to get rid of Thomas Tuchel? This isn't a knock on Graham Potter. I'm just wondering, I mean, Tuchel with the new ownership wasn't given that much time, was he?
Well, this is what the owners do. You know, Chelsea, they demand every single game, and they made that decision to get rid of him. I thought it was a little bit too soon, if I'm being honest. But we don't know what happens behind the scenes. That is always very important in football clubs, whether there's been falling outs in dressing rooms or where the players are not playing for him. Players have got all the power these days. And if you fall out with some certain players in your dressing room, then usually you will get sacked because the players are suddenly they drop down tools and don't put the effort in like they should do. So I think the owners made a big decision. I think Graham Potter's been mentioned quite a few times at bigger clubs, and they thought, well, what he's done at Brighton has been unbelievable. The way he's nurtured the players and the way they've got the results they needed, but probably a small budget, not a massive budget. So they've made that big decision to say, well, I'm going to go with Graham Potter, but now you've got to give him time. You can't, if there's a couple of bad results, you've got to expect that because he's finding out about his players still. But yeah, Tuchel maybe is a little bit too soon, but there must have been a real good reason why he did get the sack in the end. Yeah,
you do also wonder because Roberto De Zerbi's getting Brighton scoring goals. 3 yesterday, there was 4 last weekend against Chelsea. The Trossard hat-trick against Liverpool as well. So it is slightly puzzling. What about yourself, Chris? Tuchel, was he unfairly sacked, do you think? I know there might have been issues behind the scenes, like Ray correctly mentioned, but still. He won the Champions League. He got to multiple cup finals as well.
Yeah, but he was a grumpy Thomas Tuchel, wasn't he, at the start of the season, in pre-season, moaning about everything. I think he said something along the lines of, the players aren't ready. Well, why aren't they ready? That's his job as manager to make sure they're ready for the start of the season. It was a slow start. By all accounts, there was a personality clash, and that was the end for Thomas Tuchel. But he didn't seem a happy man at the end, so these things happen. I think Chelsea have spent more money than anybody else over the summer, and it's up to Graham Potter to get them into shape and get them into shape pretty quickly. I think he's had a reasonable start, but the fact of the matter is that the loss last week against Brighton and to be beaten as comprehensively as they were today at home against Arsenal, that's a problem, and this can't carry on. So Graham Potter will have to turn things around. I think he's proven himself as a coach. I think he's done the hard yards, over in Sweden at Östersunds, did okay at Swansea, did unbelievably well at Brighton, changing a brand of football to move Brighton up the table, playing attractive football. But this is a whole new, different ball game, different level, different test. And the pressure will be on him because Chelsea fans demand instant success. So, I think we all agree that managers need time, absolutely, but they need to do better and that they need to hit form. And when clubs are prepared to spend the amount of money which Chelsea have over the summer, then the owners the owners expect a return on that. And at this moment in time, the last couple of weeks haven't been good enough.
Yeah, and last 10, 12 years, it's multiple Champions League titles for them, multiple league titles as well, FA Cups, League Cups along the way.